But it brings me to a point that I want to talk about today, which isn't really wisdom. It's more kind of a, not a revelation, but something that I came to that I was like, I'm really happy that I'm alive at this time when spirituality is changing so much and that it's evolving in all these really wonderful ways where we're seeing this shift from traditional organized religion towards something more personal and universal. And our Sangha is an expression of that, that we can gather, I mean, to have technology support this, that we can gather from wherever we are and we can share whatever we want. We can share a Buddhist text or a Native American text or a, Islamic text. And all of our experiences can be gleaned from so many different traditions, and that it's perfectly acceptable and that we don't have to diminish the power of that because it's not some structure that has been put in place and is we've been told that that's the only way to experience the divine. That we're here during a time when how we experience the divine is completely up to an individual perspective. And that's this way we can in our country. It's not true around the world, but it is becoming more true. And I'm just appreciative that we get to walk this journey with the divine in such a vibrant and such a permissible way. So it's not really a teaching; it's just it's an observation. This phrase that I've heard, I've heard for years from people: "I'm spiritual but not religious," and I always kind of wondered, like, how can you don't have to be religious, but you're automatically spiritual because you are a spirit, like you're a walking spirit, so you can't be anything but spiritual. So what does that really mean to be that? And yet it is actually that phrase is actually redefining how we connect with the divine. And it's actually true. People are actually acknowledging their spiritual nature without having to have a set structure, or like Penny manages to have structure and also freedom, both. Like how are we making our spiritual journey such that there's enough framework, enough scaffolding to hang on to something without it being something that restricts us? And where's the line for us? For everyone, it's different. For some, it needs to be really rigid in order to feel the strength of it. And for some of us, it can be more fluid, and we can allow more paradoxes and more tension to be held in the idea of our spiritual journey. That the truths, I think when I read the wonderful teachings from Jesus and Buddha, and through all the avatars that have been with us in body, that they all speak to the tension and the paradoxes and the differences, while they hold two ideas that are in conflict together, and they can live with that. That it doesn't have to be that only one can be in and everything else is wrong, that it can actually be that we can hold two in tension. And that, to me, that's the spirit journey, is that we have to learn in life to hold things in tension that don't actually feel like they could both be true. That I have to throw something out in order to hold something as truth. And that in the complexity of our brain and our mind, we actually can train ourselves to be able to be calm and hold things that don't seem like they should be in the same pot, but hold them in the same pot. And I love that. And I love that we're in this time that encourages that, and that our intellect is being encouraged to think outside the box. This is the time when science and spirituality are starting to so dovetail, and we haven't had that in the past. Science has been held in this bucket, and spirituality, religion was in this bucket, and they didn't really want to interface. And now, with all of the changes in wisdom that we're getting around the physics and quantum and all the things that are happening, they're starting to intertwine. It is such an exciting time for us to embrace our spirit journey and to give ourselves permission to explore, and permission to say, this, I'm going to do this one thing that isn't even traditionally accepted within this tradition, but I'm still going to hold this tradition as some truth for me too. I can hold both. I just love that. I feel like it's a really juicy time, and we are practicing that in our Sangha by blending different practices. And in your own, I bet if we went around the group here and we asked, like, what's your spiritual practice? And not even, something rigid, just what you consider spiritual practice in your life, that we would have a variety of things that people are doing, that women are doing, that they consider part of their spiritual practice, that aren't your traditional prayer or going to church, or but that they are, not just meditation, but walking out in nature is a spiritual practice. I would venture that for Lydia, making a plant essence is a spiritual practice. What she has to access in herself to be able to create and to listen to and to interface with the spirit that comes through nature for her is a spiritual practice. So we can look at our lives right now as so much. My little dog, isn't that she's dreaming and having a little, can you hear her? It's like, yep, 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 yep. She's asleep behind me on the floor. So cute. She's dreaming about the dog spirits. So this is a time when we can give ourselves permission, if you haven't already, give yourself even more permission to be on the fringes of ways that you might experience the divine. And it just opened the floodgates to the divine is coming through us, as Britt Marie said, coming through as you're taking a walk, in New York, and all of a sudden you come across a divine creation of the feminine, that it's coming to us when we open our eyes and our heart to just allowing whatever comes. All of a sudden we start getting so many little hints, and so many little things are showing up in ways that we hadn't even thought, and those are also part of our spiritual practice. We are in an extremely juicy time. One of the things that is so exquisite about this time is how technology has supported this. I mean, the number of apps that you can go on that allow people who don't have a Sangha or a place to go to be able to sit quietly in their home and meditate or listen to, music, or to have some breath, some pranayam. All of those things that were not accessible unless you went to some kind of a program somewhere are now accessible. So there's hope. This brings me hope that as a humanity, because these are so accessible, more people will be moving towards calming their spirit and calming their just the busyness of ourselves in a way that is going to allow us to come to some different kind of agreement of how humanity should look. We're in a turbulent time right now, so it doesn't look like that's happening, but the structure underneath, if we look at what's happening with the structure that's getting put in place, that's still wobbly, I think it holds a lot of potential for more people to embrace the divine in different ways, which will ultimately bring our humanity to a different outlook about how they treat one another, how we treat one another, and how we intersect, and how we share our wisdom, and how we share our cultures and our native understandings. And another thing that's really coming into this right now is the whole animist view of our relationship to nature. And never before have I seen so many writings and so many tools around how to bring nature between the full moons, the different moon cycles, and doing rituals around it. Like the idea of ritual interfacing with nature is huge right now. And all of everyone on this call does something in nature and interfaces with it and uses it as a tool for us to connect to the divine. So that's another that harkens back to old teachings, but it's been kind of missing a little bit as a tool. People still went into nature and did whatever they were doing, but now it's recognized again as being a way we make contact with the divine. So we're in this most magnificent time for us to be able to express and gather and work with the universe as it's expanding as part of our search and interface with the divine. So I just wanted to say that this morning because I feel really hopeful and really inspired by that. And I hope you do too. That's all I have to say today.
Thank you. I like to add something to hope, because I'm very critical when it comes to German and to Austria and everything. And what I observe, what I've never seen before, is like there are so many Muslims here. So many Muslims. It's like wherever I go, it's packed. And what brings really joy and hope to my heart is how they get treated. because especially with the German mentality, let's face it, Gabi, you know, we know our history. They get treated so equally, so nice, so sweet in the scenery where I am. You know, there might be exceptions, we know about that one. But first, I always said, wow, these are really courageous women, you know, going out shopping, you know, with their full burqa and everything. But then I observed and I saw, no, they don't have any reason to fear, any reason to be like hesitant or worrisome. So and I thought, and then the last thing I wanted to add, then we went into one church in Linz, and I've never seen that before either. So there were scriptures of Jesus in all languages, even is in the Islam language, in Russian, in Ukraine, all languages. And I thought, wow, if all the religions would come to this point, you know, that they become so inclusive, we would have a more peaceful life, you know, more peaceful planet. So that was really, for me, something I've never experienced. I thought it's beautiful to share with you. So it's happening. There are places where everybody gets embraced. Okay, now we embrace our health, our strength. Scoot back, sit on the edge of your chair, but so that you are solid, that your feet are solid. Let me set my timer so that I can see the time. Um, so I want you to bend your middle and your ring finger, and then this morning, place your thumbs onto the fingernails, which is an unusual mudra. Index, the pointer finger, and your pinkies are extended, and we bring the arms out into a V shape on the inhale. Exhale, bring the hands in front of your shoulders, like we're stimulating the lymphatic system, but we're also removing any negativity out of our energetic field. We only do 3 minutes, so always remember that we really need to work the arms. They are like the engine for our lymphatic system. With the breath combined. We as women, we really need to ensure that we perspire every day. Getting the toxins out of our body. We did 1 minute. Keep going. Last minute. You feel you're getting tired and resistant, break through your resistance. 30 more seconds. We can do this. You don't want your body to give up, so you shouldn't give up on your body. Good. Inhale up. Open the mudra. Exhale. Sweep through your auric field. Rest your hands onto your thighs or your knees. Eyes closing. Tuck your chin slightly. Bring your head back. Create an alignment with your spine. Long, deep breathing. Take a moment for integration. Now gently open your eyes. Bring on both hands the tip of your thumb to tip of ring and pinky, index, middle finger touch. By the way, Gabi, this would be a mudra for you to hold 24/7, so to speak, right now, even while you're walking or so, watching a movie, because it gives more fresh prana into the body, and it really helps after surgery, radiation, and everything, yeah? So left hand is at the level of your left shoulder. Right hand comes a little bit more closer to your right ear. Now we do 8 segmented little breaths through the nose, 1 exhalation through the open mouth. So with each inhalation, like we become a little bigger. So we get into the Buddha belly, yeah, or the goddess belly. They never have a flat belly or abs. So inhale like 8 segmented breath, and then you exhale, open mouth like inhale, nose. Count for yourself. Keep going. Imagine you're releasing any tension, anxiety, or worrisome thoughts and feelings. Continue. Imagine you get deeper and deeper into your unconscious mind and your subconsciousness. One more minute. Last round. And then keep the mudra, but rest your hands, palms facing up onto your thighs or knees. Take a minute to integrate. See if there's still any thoughts and feelings of anxiety lingering inside of you, and see if you can breathe in, through, and out of them. Good. Last pranayam. Please bring your arms forward. Left palm is facing towards the earth. Right palm is facing up. So here we want to create balance between earth and heavens. Inhale, count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for the count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, open mouth for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Open mouth. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And keep going at your own pace. Straighten your arms. Keep them as straight as you can. Left palm facing down, right facing up. Left palm gives from the center of your heart to the earth. Right palm is receiving the energy from the heavens, bringing that energy into your heart center. Last minute. Do your last round. When you're done, you gently rest your hands back onto your thighs, palms facing upward, eyes stay closed. Just take a moment.